We are here at the second day of the 2024 Wood Bioenergy Conference and Expo. My name is Jessica Johnson. I am the managing editor of Wood Bioenergy magazine, and I'm joined by my colleague,
Dan Schell, senior editor with Wood Bioenergy magazine.
We had a great half day today as we wrapped up our conference. Started out with a dynamic morning keynote session. Dan, you were in there. What kind of...
It was really informative. It led off with Seth Walker. He's an analyst with Rayonier. He looked at biomass from the standpoint of a big private landowner. He also noted that there's a lot of opportunity out there, that half of the biggest companies in the world have made a net zero commitment to go to zero carbon. Wow. So there's a lot of companies out there that are going to be looking to do this. He also mentioned solar and wind is sort of the hot things right now, but as we get more and more solar and wind capacity, that's going to increase the demand for a baseload power, which biomass meets the definition. He also mentioned that looking at landowners, people always talk about low cost for logging slash and that for feedstock. He said, don't be looking at $10 to $20 a ton, closer to $40 or $50 a ton, more realistic when you go into handling, the transportation, that kind of thing. Another of my morning keynote session speakers was Taylor Fitz with USIPA, and he mentioned some of the headwinds we're working against around the world. There's 200 NGOs that are anti-biomass, but at the same time, they haven't really moved public opinion that much. He cited surveys in the UK where 72% still support biomass. Recent survey in the Netherlands, 39% still approve, only 8% disapprove. And he mentioned a focus group here in the US where 8 approved and only 3 disapproved.
That's especially topical and relevant given the news that came out last night as well as this morning as it's hitting around that Enviva Biomass has filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy protections, and they're based here in the U.S. as a very, very large pellet producer.
Absolutely, and Fitz mentioned we need to work at changing the narrative for biomass. Sort of work, go on biomass, sell the benefits, don't be on defense, don't be trying to defend yourself all the time. Quantify the positive impacts that biomass can do. Rural economies, baseload power, green sustainability. Make it personal. Find people out there in the industry and let them tell how they've benefited. Also, broaden our allies. We need as many people helping us and allies in the fight as we can find, and speak with a unified voice. That's one thing the NGOs have done, and we need to be able to do that with the biomass industry.
Well, and our industry is obviously still very people-oriented, right? It's about the connections that the people make and seeing the thread between trees in the forest and then the power generation that can be made once you handle the biomass. And I think that's a great point out of Taylor with USIPA.
And then now our last keynote speaker was Andrew Johnson with TSI, and he brought up some of the opportunities outside of pure biomass and outside of pellets in biochar, and I know you were sitting on the biochar.
Yeah, so Andrew broke down both the characteristics and the markets. It was kind of like a biochar, biocoal, biocarbon 101. And it seems to really kind of have the next, I think it might be our next big industry wave of interest. And definitely, I know Andrew has said before that Japan and the Asian markets are especially interested in biochar, biocoal, biocarbon, those torrefied products.
Right.
This afternoon, we also had our technical sessions. I was in on spark detection, and there were some sparks flying, of course, as Greg Hahn talked about their modules and their nozzles and sprays and all that sort of thing. And CV Tech discussed their flameless vents and how they mitigate fire threats. And then you were in with employment, right?
Employment. Richard Poindexter with Search North America gave out some good information. He cited a survey by Stiles Machinery, which is a major supplier. It's got a lot of customers around. He said 90% of their customers are looking to expand in the next 3 years. 90% say that 2023 was a good to a great year, and 60% are looking real hard to fill skilled jobs, boiler people, electricians, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of demand out there for employment, and everyone's looking for new employees and better employees.
And our lucky $500 cash prize drawing winner was Jeff McLaughlin with Precision Husky. So that was a great note to end our 2024 Wood Bioenergy Conference and Expo. We had a great 20-speaker lineup both yesterday and this morning. We had fun mingling with exhibitors last night at our reception. And we're looking forward to 2026. We'll be back here at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia.
See you then.